Senator Billy Lawless, you have 8 minutes.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Thank you, Minister, for being present, and I welcome the opportunity to speak about tourism in Ireland. And of course, working in the hospitality industry myself is an area which I am very familiar with, and where I understand how government and industry can work hand in glove to deliver what is such an important industry to this country. Tourism is one of Ireland's most important economic sectors now, with total tourism revenue for the economy in 2015 of over $7 billion, and employment in tourism Ireland is estimated, as you said yourself, over 200,000 jobs. As the Minister knows all too well, Great Britain is Ireland's biggest source market for overseas tourists, representing 41.6% of all such visits and 26% of total tourism revenue. The end of the common travel area between UK and Ireland would thus be very costly and disruptive to the tourism industry in Ireland. Moreover, the continued and expected long-term depreciation of sterling against the euro will have inevitable consequences for the number of visitors who come from Great Britain to Ireland, and this is already taking effect, where according to some recently published figures, the number of British tourists, as you said earlier, was down 10.7% over the course of the summer. Now, we heard before the Shannon Brexit Committee that Tourism Ireland has cut its forecast for the coming year by 6% because of Brexit. In 2016, tourism in the north of Ireland increased by 26% and tourism in the border counties increased by 14%. It is the second biggest industry in the island of Ireland at the moment. What the Shannon Committee learned is that the problem coming down the road relates to who will fund Tourism Ireland in the future. And this has already, there has already been a reduction in number of EU numbers in the first 3 months of the year, which according to that committee was down 5.5% in last year. Now, we know that the tourism industry is vital to the country, but we're really in very uncertain times of Brexit. I was very surprised to hear from Tourism Ireland at the Shannon Committee that people want to know whether tourists will be safe if there is a border in 2 years' time, and that this specifically came up in their trade missions to Italy and Germany. Minister, it is vitally important that Tourism Ireland needs to know where it will get funding as it goes forward and what level of funding it will get. Are the 26 counties to be marketed separately from the 6 counties? Will Tourism Ireland be selling an island as partly in the EU and partly out of the EU? These are the questions which Tourism Ireland asked at the Shannon Brexit Committee. And Cathaoirleach, while many people may view the tourism industry as urban-based, it is a fact that tourism is the second largest industry in rural Ireland. There are these smaller businesses who perhaps own farms but rent holiday homes, boats or bicycles to tourists are suffering from the uncertainty that Brexit has brought, not only to the industry, but the funding of the very state agency that is responsible for bringing people to the island of Ireland. And again, we heard at the Brexit Shannon Committee that the north of Ireland has received over $7 billion in EU funding under various programmes, including the Erasmus programme, which gives students an opportunity to spend 29 days in various parts of Europe. Their accommodation, food and travel costs are paid. And those who participate in this Erasmus programme become tourist ambassadors abroad. And again, according to Tourism Ireland, this is the best and cheapest way of marketing Ireland as a tourism product. Cathaoirleach, it is clear that we need bold thinking of how the island of Ireland is to protect the tourism industry. You know, from the crosswinds of Brexit. At the peak of our economic crisis, the government launched the gathering to attract US tourism, and it was a massive success. And since the gathering, tourism from the US has increased by 15% year on year. And for your own information, Minister, I have a bill going through at the moment, will come to the Cabinet shortly, on lifting the ban of alcohol on Good Friday. So I expect that you will get your full support for that bill. You should have it shortly. But we should also, I think about having a gathering for Europe. We have many, many Irish immigrants right across Europe, and I think it calls for a marketing tool exactly like we did with the gathering a few years ago. So, Cathaoirleach, the Minister knows too well the challenge we face, but we cannot wait 2 years to react. We must react now, and I would urge the Minister to be bold and to ensure that one of Ireland's greatest export products, our country itself, can continue to thrive and generate the employment and income that the state so badly requires. Thank you very much, Cathaoirleach.
Thank you, Senator Lawless.